Hello guys, this is Emerald here, and today I'll be showcasing you guys an imaginary weapon. This is not a leak. This is something I thought up of, and I just wanted to shoot the idea with you guys and see what you guys thought of it. So let me just give you guys some backstory. So I was just thinking about um, what kind of weapon would Kusanali or Nahida, the Dendra Archon, what kind of weapon would she bring along with her? Because as you know, every single 5-star comes with their own specialized weapon. And I was thinking, like, okay, well, Dendro has a lot to do with elemental mastery. And so far, all the Archons we've seen so far, so Venti, Zhongli, and Raiden Shogun, they're all considered supports. So I figured, she might as well just be a support as well. So this weapon isn't going to be really a DPS weapon. It's more of going to be a support based weapon. So I'll just let the weapon do all the talking. And I also thought of its stats. So the weapon is called Oracle of Dreams. I know, cringe name. You guys can blast me in the comments. But it's got standard attack, which is 608. So it's not 676. It's not high base attack like Miss Splitter or Keel of Favonia, but it does have, higher than average elemental mastery substat. I wanted it to be higher than Sacrificial Fragments elemental mastery substat, which is 221, and then its passive is called Unimagined Potential. Ooh. So first off, it just gives you a blank. I mean, like a blanket. All your the character equipping this weapon will have their skill cooldown reduced by 10%, and then it goes up to 20% the more refinements you have. You can see I got the refinement levels listed in the red, and then it reads, after using elemental skill, refresh your elemental skill cooldown and increase the damage of your next elemental skill cast by 50%. And then it goes up to 100 with refinements. This pretty self-explanatory. After you use a skill, it resets its own cooldown, so you can use your skill again, but this time it'll do 50% extra damage. And then it also reads, this enhanced elemental skill cast will ignore any deployable limits the character may have. So obviously, I know some of you guys are going to be confused. I already thought of that, which is on the next slide. What does this enhanced elemental skill cast will ignore any deployable limits the character may have mean? So what this basically means is if the character has a max deployable limit in their skill, this weapon's enhanced skill use will ignore that limit. So if you look on the screen, I pulled Ningguang's Jade screen, her elemental skill, the one where she summons a screen, it blocks projectile, and it does like fat damage. Um, you can see it, the last line of text, it says only one Jade screen may exist at one time. So usually Ningguang, she can only put her Jade screen out, and that's it. If she has sacrificial fragments, and it resets its cooldown, and she tries to put down another one, it's gonna destroy the first one. But if you have Oracle of Dreams, my imaginary made up weapon, not a leak, you can have two Jade screens up at the same time. So what does this mean? And I also figured you might ask that. So let's just first talk about who has a skill deployable in their kit. Obviously, this weapon is a catalyst, so only catalyst users. So I went through all the catalyst users and I just looked at who has a skill deployable. So first up we have Ningguang. With this weapon, she's gonna have two Jade screens out at once. Don't know how useful that is. And then with Klee, so her skill is a Jumpty Dumpty. It bounces 3 times, I think, and then it lays out like 10 mines, right? The thing is, Klee already has 2 skill charges. But the thing is, when you use, let's say I use Klee's skill charge, Jumpy Dumpty, right? Bounces, boing boing boing, and it deploys like the little minefield, right? If nobody triggers those minefield and you use another jumpy dumpy, boing boing boing, right? It's gonna detonate all the it's gonna detonate the first minefield. So you can only have one minefield out at once. But with this weapon, you can have two minefields out at once, and you can use Jumpy Dumpty 3 times because the weapon resets its own skill cooldown. And then with Mona, she gets double mirror reflection of doom. That's just her taunt. It's kind of useless. You don't really need two taunts. That's why you see the big red arrow. And then for Kokomi, she has the jellyfish. Not sure why you would need two jellyfishes. Maybe better hydro application. You definitely don't need it for the healing. Kokomi already heals enough. And then for Yaimiko, she gets 4 turrets. So normally she can only have 3 Seisho Sakura turrets, but with this skill, because it ignores the 3 turret limit, you can have 4 turrets, which has some more implications, which I will explain later on. So first, I want to talk about what Ningguang's special interaction would be if she could have 2 Jade screens out at once. So you can see on the screen, I have her ultimate listed here. I'll just read it for you. I won't read it for you. I'll just TLDR it. She basically so from her character, she will shoot out 6, what are these called? Star Jades, right? She will shoot out these 6 Star Jades from her body. And then if there's a Jade screen nearby, it will shoot out 4 more. So you get a total of 10 Star Jade damage, right? But now, if you have 2 Jade screens, it's going to shoot out another 4. Because you have 6 from Ningguang, 4 from the first Jade screen, and then 4 from the second one. So you got 14 instances of Star Jade damage, which I think would be pretty cool. And remember, this is not real. This is not a leak. This is just something I was thinking about it, and I thought it would be really cool if they could implement this. I don't want to hear no comments saying like, "Oh, but they can't implement this. They would have to change the coding." Bitch, MiHoYo is a billion-dollar company. If any company can change their coding, it's them. They got the money to do it. Alright, and then the next special interaction I want to talk about is for Yaimiko. So, most people don't play Yaimiko, because, she's like underwhelming or whatever, right? So, I kind of have to explain what she does. So, her skill, you put down 3 turrets, and then your ult, it's this giant AoE blast in front of you, and then you get another AoE blast per turret that is out on the field right now. You can see I have her ult pasted on the screen. The second paragraph reads, when she uses this skill, Yaimiko will basically destroy any nearby turrets, and for each turret she destroys, she sends out another cast of her ult. So normally you get 4 casts of her ult. You get the base ult itself, and then you have 3 turrets on the field, so you get 3 extra casts. So that's the base one, and then all your turret extra casts. That's 4. But with this, if you have Oracle of Dream, because you have 4 turrets out on the field, you will actually hit 5 times. You have your base cast, and then the 4 turrets will turn into extra casts of her ult, which I thought was pretty cool. And then obviously, a lot of people don't know this about Yaimiko, but her turrets actually go up to level 4. If you know Yaimiko, you know what the levels on her turrets do. If you have like a turret right next to a turret, they will level each other up. Basically, the more turrets you have next to each other, the more damage they do. So if you have this weapon, you don't need Constellation 2 to access level 4 damage, which I think would be pretty cool. And then if you already have her C2, which gives you normal access to level 4 turrets, you basically have 4 level 4 turrets, which is a ton of damage. So now you might be wondering, okay, why are you showing me the weapon again? Well, I focused a lot on just the last text, but I also wanted to focus on um, the uh, the weapon effect itself, because all I did was talk about the last text. Um, the next slide is going to talk about who can actually use this weapon. So, as a refresher, it after you use your skill, it resets your cooldown and increases the damage of your next elemental skill by 50%. And it just gives you a flat 10% skill cooldown reduction. So, I think the only three viable characters that we have who can use this weapon is going to be Ningguang, just for her 14 Star Jade interaction. Yes, she can't really use the EM substat, but it's a lot of burst damage. You're getting plus one skill cast, and you're getting 4 more Star Jade damage. And then Yaemiko, she obviously can use this because 4 turrets and plus extra damage on her ult is really nice. And then I think Sucrose is gonna be like the biggest winner for this one, even though she doesn't have any skill deployables in her kit. This is gonna be a direct upgrade for her because it's a direct upgrade to Sacrificial Fragments. I know some people run Thrilling Tales of Dragon Slayer on Sucrose, but me personally, I run Sacrificial Fragments just so I give a bunch of EM. This gives higher EM than Sacrificial Fragment, gives higher base attack than Sacrificial Fragment, lowers your base skill cooldown by 10%, and it has an unconditional skill refresh, unlike Sacrificial Fragments, um, which is just going to be better for her. So if you're running like Sakokomon and Sucrose is your driver, she's pumping out mad elemental mastery damage. So yeah, that's it. Remember, this is not a leak. This is just an imaginary weapon that I thought up of because I was bored. Let me know what you guys think about this weapon. Is it good? Is it bad? Um, so yeah, that's it.